Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be solving another problem that is an easy problem. And I'll be skipping over these two problems. Both of them are converting from integer to Roman and Roman to integer. Both of them are implementation problems that can be solved easily once you get to know how to solve problems using just if and else. And so we'll skip those because there's nothing much to explain regarding that. And the next problem that we'll be solving, that we'll be tackling today, is longest common prefix. So let's get to the problem. The problem statement is very simple. We are given a vector of strings that contain different strings, and we need to find the longest length of substring that is prefixed to all of those strings. All right. So for example, in this particular case, you can see FL is common in all of these three strings, and that is the largest substring starting. That is the prefix for all of those lists. All right, all of those strings in the list. All right. So let's get to the solution. But before that, let me tell you, I'll be defining what my approach is to the problem. First, I'll be keeping track of the maximum length of the substring that is common to all of that. Then I'll return the substring 0 till the max length. For example, in this particular case, the maximum length is 2, right? Because see, you have FL common in all of that. So what I'll do, I'll return from 0 till second index the substring. That is what I have written, from 0 till maximum length of the prefix. All right. Okay. So now the question arises: how do we count the maximum length? All right. This can be count very easily using the following algorithm, and for that I'll be having another vector that will keep track of indexes. All right, so let's just have a run through of that. Here it is. Okay, so this is the list of strings that I have named S, and this P will keep track of the current index. All right, so initially all of them are assigned 0. So what I'll do for each iteration, okay, by the way, I'm keeping track of max length as equal to 0 initially. All right, so now after, see, you can see in this logic that initially I have by default vector initializes every element as 0, and I've kept the max length as 0, while one of the indexes is not larger than the size of the particular string that is it is representing. Keep on continuing the loop. That is what I'm doing. All right. So for a particular iteration of this while loop, what I will do is I'll go through this list, and I'll check whether the first one is equal to this, or like the first element of the particular string or that character is equal to the rest or not. If it is not equal, that means that, for example, if you check here, the second index, if you are having 0 index from 0th index, the second index here is 0, the second index here is 0, sorry, O, and here it is O, but here it is I. And since all three of them are not equal, we'll break the loop here. All right. So for example, initially all three of them are 0. So what I'll do, I'll check this string's 0th index is F. All right. And this string's 0th index is F. And this string's 0th index is F. So all three of them are equal, right? So what I'll do, I'll just increment this 0 by 1, this 0 by 1, and this 0 by 1 as well. All right. Now in the next iteration of the while loop, I'll again loop through this and check whether this indexes of that particular string are equal or not. For example, here the index is 1, right? So the 1 for this is L, 1 for this is again L, and the first index of this is again L. So all three of them are equal. So we can proceed. And by the way, after each iteration of while loop, I'll be keep on incrementing this max length by 1. All right. So after the first iteration, when it turned from 0 to 1, it will be 1. Now after the second iteration, when all three L's are verified, it will become, from max length will become 2, and now every one of them will become 2 as well. All right. Now we'll check all three of them are equal or not. Here you can see I is not equal to O. So in this particular case, a condition will not be satisfied here, and it will return the max length. That is whatever is currently the max length that will return. So for example, in this particular case, we found out the max length was 2, and due to that, when it gets returned the max length, will return any one of the strings substrings starting from 0th index to 2nd index. And then there is a function in C++ to do that. That's a substring function from 0 till the length of that. All right, and that will return the answer, and that's how you solve the problem. So I can walk you through the code once, it'll be easier. So you can see that we have a vector over here that will keep track of the indices of the particular strings in the list. And this basically checks, this while loop basically checks whether the indexes has crossed that particular string size. All right, so if it is the first string in the list, basically, for example, here we have nothing to compare this f to, right? And due to that, what it will do is we will just store the, if it I equal to 0, when I equal to 0, this is what is signified by I equal to 0, we'll just store the character that is present. All right, so for example, when everything initially, when I equal to 0, we will be assigning the character to f. This is what this statement does. All right, and this is the breaking condition where the index, for example, let's say for some reason it reaches 8 and 8 is larger than this, right? So break out of that loop. This is what this condition does. All right, and this is the initial assignment if I equal to 0. And for the rest of the for loop, what we do is we check whether this first character, this whatever index is present here, for example 2 means O, whether this O is equal to the rest or not. This O is equal to this O, all right, then this O is equal to this I, that is wrong. Okay, in that particular case, we return max length. That is like if character is not matching with the current strings index. All right, and after completion of each iteration, we just increment the max length by 1, and at the end we just return the max length. That's about it. Hope you guys had some insights into the problem. I think you guys can implement it easily even without the guidance, since it's an easy one. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye, see you in the next one.